you ready? It's the Roundtable with me, Robert Bannon.
Welcome to the Roundtable, everybody. My name is Robert Bannon. You're listening to some Broadway World over here on the Broadway Podcast Network, iHeart, and Spotify. Look, I almost tripped over my words because I love to music geek out. I really love to music geek out, and Bryan Perri has done so many incredible things. You've seen his work. You've heard his music. I mean, if you're a Broadway baby, you have seen his work, or you've seen him conducting in a pit. I have so many questions for people that conduct and music direct. Like, does his hand get tired from all this? That's why he has a short sleeve shirt with all the tats out today, because his hand, that's how you get good muscles, Bryan. I figured it out. Listen, his album is gorgeous. He's been on tour. He's been all around the world. He's performed with some of your favorite Broadway stars. And you have to be a part of the journey and hear what it's like. Not only the people that sing on stage, but everybody else that makes the music happen. He's a real incredible force here in the theater community. Bryan Perri is here. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
See, I told you the tats were out.
Got the tats out, yeah.
Man, I don't have, my husband has like 8 and I have 0.
You got to get some.
But I hear it's addictive. Is it really addictive?
Kind of. But it's like a profound experience, you know? The pain you have to go through when your body's the ultimate canvas, you know?
Did you have a moment when you get up and look at it? Do you feel woozy? People told me you feel woozy.
No, never. Only awesome.
Oh, okay. Did any of them hurt?
All of them.
Okay. I'm going to get one and I'm going to let you know. I'm going to send you a picture.
Okay.
So look, I told you beforehand, I told him I listened to his album and I told him I had his favorite and I was going to save the moment for when I was here. But I want proof that I really did listen. Like, it's on my Spotify. It's my recently played album, everybody. And I love No Words 3.
Oh, thanks.
I love it. I love the set from the beginning. It enchanted me. It hooked me. And I love exploration for guitars and strings because you don't always hear the two together. But words, No Words 3, we're nerdy and we love music. Like music that is classical or novel. We jam to it in our house. So thank you for this.
That's awesome. You're an awesome household, I feel.
See, who needs a singer, Bryan? We don't.
Just kidding. I love singers.
As do I. As a singer, I love singers. But
I'm secretly a singer too. So
see, the Few Words is out, and you could stream it wherever music is. What is this project? How do you describe what it is?
It's sort of like my reintroduction into writing. I had stopped writing for so long because I just didn't have the like emotional capacity for it, and coming back to it, having the space to write again felt really good. So this sort of, I wrote this over the course of like 2 years, and it's called Few Words because I've spent a lot of my life in theater and sort of theater adjacent things, and the words are the thing. So to sort of be able to communicate with few of them and not a lot of them was really like appealing to me.
I really love it. It's definitely, everyone's got to check it out. You got to stream it wherever you're hearing music, and you've done it live and you've done it as a whole album. And it must be really neat to be able to conduct and be a part of your own music.
Oh, it was incredible. I got to do it at Zankel Hall at Carnegie Hall with amazing musicians and singers and, 600 of my closest friends. So that was great. But, I'd never done anything like that where I was sort of presenting my heart to everybody. It's very vulnerable. It's very scary. But I felt so much love and support in that room. And it was really, I want to do it every day.
I love it. I want you to do it every day. And the people who love the music, we want to hear it every day too. While we're talking, you go to bperri.com for all the information, if you want a link to everything, literally all the shows, there's many that you have done. How did this start for you? Where did you grow up?
I grew up on Long Island, Strong Island, as I like to call it. My aunt had a piano. And I just would always make my way over to it. And it was just chaos. And slowly the chaos became something when I was pretty young. And my parents ended up getting me a piano. And it was very organic, but I was terribly undisciplined as a kid. And I just wanted to play Phantom of the Opera and Les Mis. And I would sing Part of Your World at the piano. My dad would get really sad, but it was okay. We were breaking ground then. But I found joy in it. And it just sort of took off from there. But oddly enough, I spent a lot of my time as a kid playing in the church folk group, as I think a lot of people start. That's not part of my life anymore. But I was lucky to do music all the time as a kid.
Yes. So. I relate to your story. I see people from Long Island, and people from Jersey like me, I feel like we're the same. We're like kindred spirit. We don't always want to admit it, but it's the same thing, Bryan.
It's totally the same, like a different, like subtle variation, but yeah, it's the same.
Were you like an Italian Long Islander?
Well, yes, I'm Irish Italian, but I grew up with the Italian family, so I always felt that's what I knew. So I was always very histrionic and larger than life, and I love them. You know.
But you see, my father is the Irish one, hence the name Bannon. But my mom is Rose Antonia DiMeglio. So,
Sure.
And I think my mom, growing up with my grandma Vincenza, I'm Italian.
I get it. I know what it is.
I get you, Bryan. I see it. I'm with it. So did you have a family that was always supportive of this, or was it foreign to them? Was it hard for them? Like, you're going to be what? You're going to be a musician?
It was interesting because they were not musical. There was no music in the house at all. There was no record player. There was no tape player. I was the music in the house, which was weird. The only music I ever heard growing up was like in the car with my like sort of ex-hippie-ish mother. So it was like I grew up with Judy Collins and Peter Paul and Mary and John Denver, and that's like all I was allowed to listen to. I had some pretty strict Catholic parents, and then it sort of branched out from there. But yeah, they didn't understand it, but I think they liked that at parties I could play the piano, so that was kind of fun. But they were supportive, yeah.
She's now your mom, I believe. If I'm wrong, I might be wrong. It's like a Instagram star because she's on your Instagram a bunch.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, she's in her early 80s, and I talk about this pretty freely. She has dementia, and so we try to sort of lovingly like laugh at it a little bit together. So that's sort of what that's about. It's never to make fun of in any way. I respect it, and we just it's just the two of us now, so we just try to keep it light and have fun.
It's really cute. You got to see her. She's adorable. It's really cute. If you follow Bryan, the link will be below us so you can follow him. So what was the decision? You say you sing it, and I know that there's every person who's in theater has a moment where they think, I'm going to be on stage. Am I going to be a singer-songwriter? Am I going to be an actor? What made you fall into you're a music director. You're a conductor. And I'm not talking about, a little music director here. Like you've conducted and been music director for monster Broadway shows. So how did that start?
Well, it's funny. I got my undergrad in voice. And then thankfully I came to my senses. And, I respect singers so much. It's so hard to do. I had like sort of 2 years where I didn't really know what I was doing. And then I ended up, my voice teacher from my undergrad had gone to a different school, and she sort of connected me. I ended up getting my master's degree from CCM in orchestral conducting. And, it became about what felt joyful in my body, what felt joyful in my soul. In a way, I was a pretty good singer. I still am a pretty good singer, and I still sing. I sang at my Carnegie Hall concert. But it always felt difficult. It always felt like a laborious process, and conducting and playing piano and making music is just joy to me. It always is. And I just love it.
So was there a moment that I don't get this world at all. I like to sing. I'm an actor and all that, but to be able to be, and you would fire me if I was to sing a score, because I've famously told people that I'll sing what comes out. I don't know what's on the page.
So we would not be friends in rehearsal.
See, Bryan, I'm fired already. So Bryan, that's why I don't do theater anymore. So Bryan, for you, when was it that you felt like you have the knowledge? I have the music knowledge. I'm going to conduct an orchestra. I'm going to be the music director. I'm going to take what someone wrote and put it up on the stage and give them what they've written. And I'm in charge. I'm the one that's in charge of making sure that happens. That's a big job.
It's a big job, and it's one of those things that, like, I think you're good if you never know. I approach every day with beginner's mind, and there's like, it's music, it's a mountain, it's Mount Everest times 1,000. There are always a million things that you don't know, and so I always approach it with sort of like curiosity all the time. And a lot of projects coming my way lately are like in sort of styles that I'm not as familiar with. So they're these sort of beautiful learning opportunities and opportunities for collaboration. But it's funny, there was never a moment where I was like, I got this. Like, I always had like a natural affinity for conducting. But like, every time you get up in front of a group of musicians and your only tool is like a little stick, you get instant feedback about whether you're doing a good job. And it is like the kiln of knowledge and the kiln of learning. And so you sort of, I think if you ever think you're just getting up there like, oh, great, you got to learn something. It's always a learning experience. And I love that.
I love that too. And people on Broadway or off Broadway or around the country that are touring and playing music in pits and adding to theater, I mean, is the bloodline and the life, the movement, the energy that is a show is what's happening underneath that stage every single night. Truly. Is it as invigorating as it sounds to me to be able to lift that? I mean, your pictures of the baton has been, that is it to lift that up and tap that baton and they start to play when you start to it has to be a rush. It's got to be like a high.
Honestly, yes, it is. And, I spent a lot of time conducting Wicked, and that first downbeat of the show. Oh, yeah, you got it. See, have you heard of Wicked? It's a thing.
It's new. It's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yeah, I hear it's done well. There were a lot of moments in that show, and I did it a lot. So, of course, were there times where, it became harder to do because I'd done it so many times? Sure. But there were certain moments like that first downbeat to the show where you lift the baton and you get that. To me, there's like nothing more satisfying than a really clean downbeat. And to get that huge sound out of the orchestra. And there was another favorite moment in the show is sort of in Wizard and I, when she gets to that last verse and she's like, and I'll stand there with the wizard. I remember doing it with one of my favorite alphabas, which was Eden Espinosa. And there was one time I did the run in LA as well, where we just got to that, and I'll stand there, and she was 1,000,000%. I was 1,000,000%. The orchestra was 1,000,000%. And we just hit it all together. And the energy, it's all energy exchange. And the energy that I felt like just sort of running through me and running like just from all over. It was just like, it was profound, it's just the coolest thing, and you're, as a conductor, you're sort of you're the vessel. You're meant to inspire the music. You're meant to run the music. And I love it.
I love it. And shout out to Eden. And shout out to all the alphabas. I mean, you go back and watch some of those clips of her singing that show. It is a hair-raising experience. She sings her teeth out. And I know you've worked with Jessica, many a alphaba through the days now, Bryan. I won't put you on the spot. We love all the alphabas here.
I do love all the alphabas. They're all different. And it was a huge part of my life that I will always be grateful for.
When people are up there and you're in the pit or wherever you are on the stage, is there a connection between if you're in the center, if you're in the orchestra pit and you're on that box and you're looking at the actors and you're looking at your musicians, and I know the camera's there, I know the monitor's behind you, but is there moments where the actor has got their eyes on you and you're in this moment together?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And even if the eyes aren't doing that, the connection is there, and that's so important to me to develop with any person I'm conducting. It's like I can't talk enough about the exchange of energy, and we both have to be open. It takes two, Yeah.
And the community of theater musicians, aside from being on the stage, the musicians that play, having friends that have played in the pit, that's its own special community of people. They are some of the greatest musicians you have worked with, some of the greatest musicians in the world that have played for you.
Absolutely.
It's got to shout out the people in the pit always when you go see your next Broadway show. What was your Broadway debut?
It was Wicked.
It was Wicked.
It was, in fact. Yes, it was. I think it was. It was either. No, yes, it was Wicked. It was Wicked. Yes. So sorry, I don't know why that was so hard to answer.
No, you have a lot of regional shows that you've done. There's a lot of off-Broadway shows you've done, and now there's a lot of Broadway shows that you've done. I've taken some of the Broadway and some off-Broadway. And not all. Look at people. We don't have all day here for Bryan. He's done a lot of shows.
Come on.
There's a lot of shows.
Robert, stop it.
What did you do for Altar Boys?
Oh, wow. Altar Boys. Well, so Altar Boys was running off Broadway, and there was a very first out of town sort of like beginning of a tour production. So it was my very first job out of grad school. And I did it in Detroit and then Des Moines, Iowa. And then right away I went to Wicked right after that. But I love that show. There's a lot
nothing says theater like Altar Boys in Des Moines, Iowa.
I gotta tell you, Des Moines is a cool town. I haven't been there in 20 years, 50. That's a long time ago, but
I felt this thanks to weird chat GPT. I don't know how people feel about it, but listen, when it gives me weird facts, like Altar Boys was one of your first jobs out of which he just said. So
you just like killed a rainforest, though, like chat GPT.
I know, that's my problem. That's my problem, Brian. Okay, I'll plant. I know, Brian.
Just saying. It's okay. I'm glad you did.
I won't use it, but it was a cute moment until I mentioned ChatGPT, and then
it's still cute. It's still cute.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. What can you say about this next tenor? The play, the singing that is done in this show is a monster.
So I did the first national tour of this. I got to do it with Alice Ripley, and it was amazing. And it's a little, it's an interesting thing for me. Next to normal, I care about the show very much, and I still do a lot of the music from this show in various reasons, which I'm sure we'll get to, but not to be heavy, but about 2 or 3 weeks before I went into rehearsal for Next to Normal, my brother committed suicide. So I had this very interesting experience because the show has so much obviously to do with mental illness, not exactly the same thing, but I just have a special relationship with the show because I got to perform it in the wake of all of that stuff. And I think, while it wasn't, I wouldn't say I could have a catharsis every night because that's just too hard. You need some armor, some emotional armor. I had a wonderful therapist that I was like, how do you do this every day? She's like, well, I put a scuba suit on and go with you. So I feel like I had a scuba suit on a little bit with it. But, I think it really helped me in many ways through my grieving process. And the music is incredibly special to me. And I've worked a lot with Tom Kitt and Brian Yorkie since then. But I have a lot of love for that show and a lot of respect for what that show does.
Well, tell us, why do you what keeps you playing the music for the show?
Well, I music direct for Aaron Tveit a lot, and for about the last 12 years. And we have the show in common, and we often now we've both gotten older. So instead of Gabe stuff, now he's doing some Dan stuff, and we perform it a lot. We perform it with a great band, and just every time we do it, somehow I think we're both transported to this younger time in our lives. All of us, a lot of the musicians that we do it with, played it on Broadway, played it on tour, and it's always so well received. People still really care about this music, and they still really care about this story. And it was really cool. One of my favorite gigs we've done together. We just played 2 sold-out shows at the London Palladium in April. We did all this music, and people just respond to it in a way that you can feel when an audience is giving you something back, and that was the case.
I love that music. Firstly, damn that Aaron. He's so damn good and so handsome and so talented. It's disgusting, Brian. It's so good. When you guys are around anywhere around the world, you got to get your tickets and make sure you see their shows, symphonies, bands, theaters, or whatever they're doing. Make sure you check it out. Speaking of shows that you have done, I had others, but speaking of shows that you probably play a bunch of, is this baby right here.
Yes.
Because Lauren and you, she's so damn good as well, are out and have done do shows together. What was your journey like for this show?
For Jagged Little Pill, I was there from the very first 20-hour reading, and it's one of the shows I've done that changed the most from start to sort of where we ended up, and it was a thrill to open that show on Broadway, and the band platform came out, and I got to pretend to be a rock star for 3 hours every night, and I'm of a certain age where that album was sort of the soundtrack to my high school. And I'll never forget when I heard You Want to Know for the first time with my friends, and there's all these references to things that you weren't supposed to talk about, and it felt very sort of controversial. And to be able to do that, to meet Alanis, to work with Alanis, was unbelievably cool. And I learned how to play harmonica for this show, which was pretty cool.
See, that's a good party trick.
The
harmonica is a good party. I remember seeing this with my friend Mike, and the electricity that was Jagged Little Pill, and the musicality of this. Alanis Morissette's a genius, and what you all did with the orchestrations and what they did on stage, was a moment. of another show, then we can go over here to talk of Tom Kidd. Another show that I remember sitting there in the first or in the orchestra and seeing it and being so moved by the story after loving the movie. What was your journey like with this?
It's I mean, I care so much about this show. I love the story. I love obviously I love Tom, and I care a lot about Cameron, and I think it's some of Tom's greatest work. And we didn't do well on Broadway. There's a lot of reasons for that I won't talk about, but I was there from the very first 20-hour reading, and it evolved quite a bit, but the story stayed the same because it's Cameron's story. And what's incredibly cool now is we are now. I also run a theater, or I was a founder of a theater called ACT of Connecticut. And we are doing a new production of this working with Tom, working with Cameron. My husband, Dan, is the director. And it has been reconceived, and it's going a lot closer to what we did out of town that was very well received. But it's been a total gift. We're in tech right now. I ran over here to talk to you from tech. And it's been an absolute joy to reconnect to this stuff. It's a show about people who love music so much. One of Sapphire's lines is something like, you love a band or a silly album cover so much that it hurts. Yes. And that's why I love this show so much. And I want it to have a life.
Yes. I was so moved by the show and the movie, and then the show in particular, because I was that nerdy kid who subscribed to Rolling Stone magazine because I love music. I wanted to be a music management major. I wanted to work at a record label. That was my dream growing up. So to hear that story and people who put it all on the line, I wasn't brave enough to do it back then. I chickened out, but to hear that story, I live vicariously through the characters and what they do. So kudos to you. I love this theater company. Can you tell us, firstly, what's it like to work with your two creative people, live married together? See, my husband's a banker. He doesn't, he'll go to theater and he loves it, but I was like, oh no, two crazy creatives in a house. What's that like?
It's very exciting all the time.
Yes.
It's great. We create a lot, and we are able to sit at the piano and go through everything together and bounce ideas off each other. And I think that we respect each other quite a bit. So there's that sort of natural energy, again, of creation that just exists here, which is great.
I love it. And the theater company, if you're in the New York area or the tri-state area, you can get up to Connecticut. We should definitely check out what you're doing up there at ACT.
You totally should, Robert.
Okay, Brian, I'm going to come. Come. I've done some of the worst theater in Connecticut, so I'd love to. You haven't lived since you've seen me in the Music Man production that got shut down for modernizing it without permission from the Meredith Willson estate. I was in that music. You want to see good musicals, go to ACT. The bad ones, I've already done.
Who did you play in the Music Man?
So I was the understudy for the music for Harold, but I was in the barbershop quartet, which is why he would have fired me, because as the baritone, Meredith Willson was not that serious about the parts he wrote, Brian. I mean,
okay, Robert, you're right. We're friends.
And my music director will put me on the spot and say, "Robert, sing your part." Oh, okay.
I do that just on mic on a Broadway stage. I'll make people do that if I think. Yeah.
I'll stick to my little online platform and live in my little world right here. That's my
create your best life. That's what you do. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian. So what people need to do is they need to be street. If you want to listen to what do you hope people listen to your music, especially your album or your cast albums that you've been a part of? And people may not realize being a music director and being a conductor are sometimes two different jobs.
It can be. As far as my album goes, because it's not the world that I've lived in professionally. It's funny because I have this classical background as far as my education goes, and then I ended up immediately doing all these rock and pop and those kinds of shows, which I love. I absolutely love because I love that music too. But I'd kind of let that muscle go for a while, and then when I had the space to write again, that's the stuff that came. And I hope when people listen to it, they're sort of like taken on whatever journey that they want to be taken on. It's not. Sometimes it can be hard, challenging to listen to harmonically, rhythmically. It's not what you expect, but I try to make it accessible. And I care that there are melodies. I care that there are things to grab onto, and I really just care that people have an emotional experience, whatever the emotion is. So it means a lot to me when people who don't normally love this kind of music say to me, and this has happened, that I never listen to this stuff. But I feel like I understand you more. I understand myself more. And I don't know if that sounds self-aggrandizing at all, but that means a lot to me.
I love it. I want people to definitely check it out. If you're looking for a moment to just be at peace, maybe you're taking a minute in a car ride home from a crazy day at work, or you want to have, cook dinner, or you want to read a book, or you want to sit out on a Saturday and take a meditation moment and listen to something. It's something you really, really got to check out. Are you hoping to play it more? Is that something that is on that?
Of course. I mean, that's I would love to. I've loved my life in theater, and I'll continue to love my life in theater. But this is a part of me that I've rediscovered and care a lot about sharing. So I'm grateful for any opportunity to do so. It looks like I'll be doing it again in April at this. I probably shouldn't say, but whatever. At this really cool new performing arts venue in Palm Beach, and I'm very excited about it. And I hope it takes a lot to be taken seriously in the classical world. It's a different thing, and it's just not a world I've lived in. So, I have hopes and dreams, and fingers crossed.
They're all gonna happen. I'm gonna ask you a question I never ask anybody, because I don't like to ask creative people this question, but I know you have 50,000 things always going. So what is next for you?
I have a bunch of things going on. One of the cool things that I'm working on is now with a wonderful friend and collaborator, Zoe Sarnak, that I've worked with a lot. And we've begun work together on a musical of A Beautiful Mind, the movie. So she's writing the music and lyrics, and we're co-orchestrating it together. And I think it's going to be incredibly cool. And another show that we've done together is The Lonely Few, which premiered both in LA, and then we were at MCC. We got a nice New York Times critics pick. You might be seeing that again soon in a really cool way. And I'm also working on an Indigo Girls musical, which is pretty cool. It's been very cool to become close with Emily Saliers, who is a hero of mine, and to work with her and become friends with her has been great. I've got a lot of stuff coming up. Some things I can't really talk about, but just because they're not confirmed yet. But yeah, no, it's a cool time, actually, a very filled time.
Yeah, I told you I wasn't afraid to ask him that. Sometimes you're with an actor and you're like, oh God, don't ask them that. But for Bryan, I knew Bryan's got the Indigo Girls is it. If you didn't see that show at MC, that show, the Lonely One, that show, and we did shows about it, was so amazing.
You saw it?
I saw it. I did interviews with it.
Oh my God, great. Lauren Patton, Taylor, and Molly
singing her face off with this band on stage. It is something. It was a real special. I hope it comes. I can't wait to see what y'all do with it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. I promise you.
Okay. We're going to be following you. We're going to go to bperry.com where you can find the information. I didn't list like 35 other regional and off-Broadway shows that he's been a part of. So you got to go find the deep dive, the whole bio of it all, and stream the album and the music and stay up to date. And we'll be following you. Click the links below us. It was a real honor to talk to you. I'm such a fan of the shows you've been a part of. And now I get to be a fan of the work that you wrote. And I hope everybody takes a listen.
I really appreciate it, Robert. Thank you.
Thanks, Bryan.
Bye.